Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello, this is Divine Sunshine, and I got a couple of trigger warnings that I woke up this morning having, especially with this full moon, and again, it's transmutational. So I told you earlier that the Spirit had given me a lot of trigger warnings that I had to, again, concentrate on. So I was waiting for Spirit to give it to me. So one of them is going back to revisit about that creating space. One. So it says, create the space, not hold the space. Two things can't occupy the same space. A vacuum had to be created, which means an emptiness has to be created. And however, when we talk about twin flames, the case is a little different because an exception to the laws of physics has to be made, which we know that two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. But I'm going to read an excerpt from something I got on the internet that also explains about the laws of physics. So what makes a difference for us as twin flames is that we have to understand that we are two bodies in one soul. And because of that, we are unified in oneness in order to be in the same space at the same time, because otherwise that they would say that is different. And so in understanding those laws of physics, it helps us to kind of defy the laws of physics, because two objects can't stay in the same space at the same time. But when we talk about us, that's why it's so important that we have to come on that oneness, on that one accord. Because if this person's resonate on this vibration and something else is resonate on another vibration, it's very hard for you to get us together in union. We have to be in union. So that's why it's so important that we have to empty out and let go of a lot of those things that are happening within us that no longer serve us. So even in the Bible, I stated, God said you can't serve two gods at the same time. And you can't hold opposing thoughts either, because that doesn't help. I'm going to win, I'm going to lose, okay? Or I'm going to have so many subscribers, but at the same time I'm saying I'm losing subscribers. So I can't have both of those things at the same time, expecting for me to have forward movement. It's almost like me driving with the brakes on. That's not going to work, okay? So you got to choose which one. And that's even about manifestation power. That's even about you being in union as well. Hence saying holding space is like, again, two different opposing energies, because moving forward at the same time, but then you're also holding, you moving. And so holding is a no action of energy, because if you're holding, it's just there. It's not requiring you to do anything. But moving, and you say I'm moving forward, but I'm holding space. Again, isn't that opposing? How can you be moving forward, but then you're holding space at the same time? It's opposite. So now what I wanted to read, I hope I didn't change. I looked up earlier. Hopefully it is still there. Okay, let's look. No, that's about that. It might have moved it up to the top. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let me look at my history. I don't think that was the one I had. Okay, so this is from Core. So somebody was talking about the laws of physics and says that two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time, yet electromagnetic waves can. How does physics apply to electromagnetic waves? So that's about energy. Okay, so this person talks about, let me keep on reading here. about the laws of physics you're referring to is called the Pauli exclusion principle, which states that two identical fermions particles with half integers spin. That would represent, again, like we're saying, the positive and the negative coming together. We're half one soul. Well, we're not half, but you know what it means. We are a soul split. Okay, so that would comply why, again, as twin flames, we are able to do that. And so the applies to normal matter, which is made out of only few kinds of fermions tightly bounded together. So what's tightly bounding us together? Source, spirit, okay, that soul, that oneness, that twin flame cord that we keep on talking about, that we wrapped up and we're also connected to as well. It's got confirmation with that. And so then, however, electromagnetic waves are bosons, particles of integer spins. Thus, they can and often do share quantum states as with the photons and the lasers. So, in fact, at extremely cold temperatures, certain isotopes of atoms, those whose total spin is an integer, can be made to behave as if they are a single quantum object. So the spinning of it could cause them to be, there goes again, that oneness, that movement can cause for them to resonate on the same frequency or the same vibration. They still take up as much space as if they were all separate. That goes back to twin flames again. You be a positive, I be a negative, or you be in your alphaness and I be in my omeganess, okay? But in some sense, they are all taking up the same space, not each taking up a part of it. So there goes back to that oneness that we have to. So again, he said he doesn't fully understand it. I don't, some things, but again, what I'm seeing here in the Pauli exclusion principle is not really violated from a certain perspective. The atoms, thus their component particles, are still separate. This is twin flames. It's just that because they are indistinguishable, they are able to behave as if they weren't separate, but the same. We mirror each other. Sameness. I express as a female, my DM express, my counterpart expresses as a male, but it's still me. But it's the circumstances that I have been exposed to and the circumstances that he is exposed to that cause us to react or to be in a state of being or react and be out in the world reflected differently. So I found that fascinating that they're saying that. And he went on to talk about dark matter and things of that. Okay, so again, now it's interesting they say dark matter, and dark matter is just made up of just everything. But then I think about also darkness, and they're saying here about the dark matter, how it's able to help a person cohere like a laser would allow them and flow more smoothly through each other than fermions is. And that's interesting that they're saying that. And I'm not the professor I am. You have to ask April on that one because that's her league there. But it's interesting how they're saying if you will apply that, the dark matter of everything, that means your light and your shadow, made a part of everything, how this one is not even with yourself out in the universe, how it helps you. Laser is more so targeted. It shines the light specifically on where it needs to go. Laser beam focus. I'm laser beam sharp. I'm laser. That helps you to run smoothly through each other. So once you kind of grow through that, and you could call it that tower moment I'm being directed to, or becoming a part of everything and understanding that oneness of how you are in the universe, thank you, and how that's a part of you, you become the light. Excuse me, somebody got to release that. You got to release that, and then you become the light, and then you'll be able to have that smooth and easy flow, which will create you all to come back into that oneness of that space, so you can occupy the same space. So you can, little market, as you say about Santa Claus is this, yes, that you can have two things energetically occupying the same space at the same time. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to you because I wanted to come back and revisit. Let me go back to that. I wanted to go back to revisit that because I felt that, you know, when we're talking about holding space, we're really going back to talk about these laws of physics again, and how that energy and how they're stating still again. We got to be on that same constant flow, and we got to watch the energy of our movement and the inertia of things, because how does it keep us for forward movement? If you're saying you're holding space, in some words you're saying you're staying still, but if you're saying you're moving forward, that's it, and that's two opposing energies. So again, how are we using our energies to be able to create that union, for us to be able to have that? And that's why Spirit said at the end of the day, guess what? Just leave it up to us. All of this physics lessons that I just gave you is overcomplicating things. And like Sean had told us before, it's just really that simple. We're getting too overcomplicated with things. And even Twin Flames, the All-Stars of Twin Flames, state that we're getting overcomplicated with it. So that's why Spirit is just like, hey, just be. Let us sit back, relax, take over the wheel, and lead you to where you actually need to go as far as getting union. All right, then, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Love you.